Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of your sources and distill the most potent insights designed just for you.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're plunging into a truly extraordinary life story, one of relentless self-overcoming against some, well, staggering odds.
Yeah, it's drawing directly from this raw, unflinching first-person account, can'thurtme.pdf.
Right.
And what's fascinating here is that this isn't just, a memoir. It's really a deep exploration of how one individual consciously sculpted an armored mind.
An armored mind. Wow.
Yeah, built from a foundation of profound trauma and adversity. We'll follow his journey from this childhood marred by abuse all the way to becoming an elite special operations warrior and an ultra-endurance athlete.
So our mission today is to extract the surprising facts and these powerful mental strategies he used, the things that allowed him to push past what seemed like his limits.
Often way past them, sometimes to the point of actual physical breakdown.
Exactly. And continually redefine what's possible.
Yeah.
As we delve into his life, we'll uncover these unique mental frameworks he developed. Things like his accountability mirror, the cookie jar of past achievements,
Yeah.
and this concept of taking souls.
Which sounds intense.
It does. So this isn't just about hearing a compelling story. It's about understanding the internal mechanisms of, well, extreme resilience and maybe how you might apply some of that.
Absolutely. Where should we start?
Let's start right at the very beginning. It's 1981. Our narrator is just a first grader. And his childhood was, well, anything but typical, plagued by a really brutal home environment.
Yeah, indeed. The source describes him as being in a school days back then.
A school days.
Yeah, but not because of academic difficulty. It was profound sleep deprivation. He'd work nights at his father's roller skating rink, Skateland, and then just struggle to stay awake in class. And outside, recess and PE were described as minefield.
A minefield life.
He had to hide bruises, avoid wearing shorts, anything to prevent raising red flags that could lead to, well, more abuse. It was this constant state of vigilance.
And here's where it gets really striking. Skateland. To the public, it was this family-owned and operated dream cloud. That's the quote.
Right, a facade.
Totally.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, it was a place of absolute control and abuse. His father, Toughness, owned everything. The family never earned a cent for their work.
Sweat equity meant nothing there.
And his mother, Jackie, she had no money, no bank account, no credit cards. I mean, completely trapped.
Yeah, and that raises a really important question. How does a child even navigate that? This deceptive environment where the public face is so normal, but behind it is horror.
Right.
The source details this horrifying incident. His mother finds Toughness with a prostitute in the Skateland office.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the same place where she tucked her children into bed. Her despair was just palpable. She knew she couldn't leave.
Because she had nothing.
Exactly. No independent means whatsoever, as the text says. And she couldn't leave her sons with him. Her dependency was absolute.
Wow. So the tension, it just builds and builds until one morning, his mother glares at Toughness in public.
Yeah.
Just a glare.
And later, back home,
Yep.
and that's when Toughness starts beating her with his leather belt.
And our narrator, he's just 6 years old.
Only 6.
He jumps on his father's back, hitting him, yelling, "Don't hit my mom."
Incredible courage.
An incredibly defiant act. And of course, it leads to his own brutal beating, but it just unmistakably foreshadows that inner fire,
Yeah.
that spark that would define him later.
It really does. And that incident, it also highlights the physical and psychological torture.
How so?
Well, his father had this specific protocol for the beatings. Strip, go to the room, turn off the lights, lie across the bed. And the anticipation, not knowing when the belt would strike or when it would stop, that was often the worst part. It's pure psychological torment designed to break a kid's spirit.
Just relentless abuse. Then there's this other day, he has a throbbing earache. His ear is actually bleeding.
Yeah.
His mother tries to take him to the emergency room, but his father chases them down.
But what happened next? That was pivotal. A real moment of defiance.
What did she do?
His mother just peeled out of the driveway, left his father standing there in her dust.
Good for her.
Absolutely. Though it did lead to another brutal beating for her later. But that act, it spurred this desperate escape plan.
Okay.
Aided by an old neighbor, Betty. Betty encouraged his mother to get a credit card.
But how? She had no money, no credit.
Right. It meant playing Toughness, getting him to co-sign. It was this calculated risk.
Wow.
And that card became her golden ticket, her only way out. It shows how ingenious and desperate her strategy had to be.
So they make a run for it. But the escape, it wasn't easy, was it?
No, not at all. The car broke down, middle of nowhere, just outside Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh, no.
His mother was hysterical, ready to just turn back, give up.
I can imagine.
But Betty, on a payphone, she calmly guided her, told her to get to a Volvo dealership, then a Holiday Inn.
Okay.
And the hotel was fully booked, but they showed up. Just this picture of desperation, holding their clothes in trash bags.
Oh, wow.
And the night manager somehow found them a room. Just a moment of kindness at such a critical time.
Amazing. So they eventually made it.
They did. Reached his grandparents' house in Brazil, Indiana after driving all night.
And he was, what, 8 years old?
Only 8. He felt like they'd escaped from hell, finally free from the devil himself.
My dad?
And that arrival, despite all the difficulties, it really marked what he called a second phase of life. A huge turning point away from that daily terror.
But moving to Brazil, Indiana, I mean, that didn't magically solve everything, right?
Oh, definitely not. They lived in public housing, paying just like $7 a month. Child support from his father was sparse.
Right.
Welfare got cut off because they owned a car, even if it was unreliable. He talks about counting pennies from mason jars just to get by.
So a different kind of struggle, financial hardship.
Exactly. And academically, he kept struggling.
Yeah.
Well, there was Sister Catherine, his second grade teacher. She had high expectations, but also believed in figuring out how each kid learns. She deduced he needed repetition.
Okay, that sounds helpful.
It was. But then it contrasts sharply with another teacher, Miss D, who he felt just had this attitude of keep up or get out.
Ugh.
Yeah, almost sent him to what he called a special black hole. It really shows the impact of, empathetic teaching versus just rigid systems.
And then as a teenager, new challenges cropped up.
Yeah. He vividly describes this shift. In grade school, he didn't really notice racism, but as a teenager, suddenly it felt like it was everywhere. And then just when things maybe felt a little more stable, tragedy struck again. Hard.
What happened?
His mother's new partner, Wilmeth, he represented this chance at a new life, some stability.
Right.
He was brutally murdered, shot 5 times, and then given a kill shot.
Oh, my God. That's horrific.
The details are just raw. He was 14, wandering through an active crime scene.
At 14.
Yeah. Seeing his would-be stepfather's cold blood pooled on the garage floor. Seeing himself and his mother on the local news loop, ducking under police tape.
I can't even imagine.
He describes himself then as a damaged kid carrying toxic stress. And it just compounded everything. His feelings of being, quote, a low-budget thug with no purpose and no future. It's an immense weight for anyone, let alone a teenager.
So, considering all of that, I mean, profound early adversity, trauma, loss, how does someone break free from that cycle, from feeling like a failure?
Right. How do you transcend that?
Yeah. For him, it seems like it began with this really profound moment of self-confrontation, the thing he calls his accountability mirror.
That's right. He describes looking at his reflection one day and just feeling disgusted, actually wanting to, and this is his quote, punch that motherfucker in the face.
Wow.
But instead, he lectured himself, asked himself, why do you think the Air Force wants your punk ass? You stand for nothing. You are an embarrassment.
He said that to himself, in the mirror.
Yep. He called it a solo intervention, holding himself radically accountable for where he was at that moment.
That isn't just a dramatic personal moment, though, is it? It really highlights a core principle here, the power of radical self-honesty.
Absolutely. Stripping away the excuses, facing the discomfort head on.
Yeah, and by doing that, he created this framework for, consistent self-improvement. It's a powerful reminder, isn't it, that true transformation often starts with that brutal, solitary look in the mirror, acknowledging your reality without any sugarcoating.
Exactly. And that mindset, that raw conversation, it fueled his academic turnaround. He forced himself to learn through, quote, transcription, memorization, and recall.
He developed an obsession for learning, he called it.
He did, a real obsession. And this renewed drive, it propelled him towards the military, specifically Air Force pararescue.
Okay, so he's turning things around. He gets in.
He got in, but then he quit.
He quit why?
He used his sickle cell trait diagnosis as an excuse. But he admits later, very honestly, if I had been the guy I am today, I wouldn't have given 2 fucks about sickle cell.
Mm-hmm. Self-awareness there.
Yeah. He knew he was being a quitter. He let fear dictate my future. An obstacle appeared, and he folded. But even that failure, it became part of his story, a hard lesson learned.
So after leaving the Air Force, What happened then? Where do you go?
Well, things went downhill for a bit. He ballooned up to nearly 300 pounds.
300 pounds.
Yeah. And working this job, he describes as disgusting baiting rat traps for Ecolab.
Oh, man.
He felt like a sorry fucking sight. That was his rock bottom.
Hmm.
A really uncomfortable period of just stagnation.
And it really paints a picture of that job, too.
Oh, vividly. Battling rats, roaches, even a live raccoon in dumpsters, he contrasts it with boot camp, where he'd actually felt energized by opportunity, cleaning latrines.
Right.
But now, doing this Ecolab job, he didn't feel anything at all, just numb and afraid. It felt like the external filth just mirrored his internal state, a real psychological low point.
But something must have sparked a change.
Yeah, a couple of things. First, a chance viewing of a TV show. Something about elite special operations units. It reignited this forgotten desire in him.
Oh, okay.
And then he watched his old beat-up VHS copy of Rocky.
Rocky, a classic underdog story.
Exactly. He fast-forwarded to round 14, and that film about this know-nothing journeyman fighter living in poverty, it just profoundly resonated with him. It presented a clear choice.
What was the choice?
He basically turned off the TV and faced it directly. Was he going to continue to surrender to fear and my feelings of inadequacy?
Oh.
Or was he going to find the power and the emotions that had laid me low, harness and use them to empower me to rise up?
And he chose the latter.
He chose the latter, dumped his comfort shake, probably some sugary drink, laced up his shoes, and hit the streets to run.
And how did that go? First run back.
He lasted 400 yards, then collapsed.
Okay, that sounds familiar to anyone who's tried to get back into shape, maybe?
Huh, right. But here's where it gets really transformative. The key part.
What's that?
He didn't give up. The very next day, he hit the streets again, pushed through the same pain. And this time, he ran a full mile.
A whole mile. That's progress.
Huge progress. But it wasn't just about that single victory. It was about cultivating this relentless self-discipline, scheduling suffering into his day, building up what he calls a calloused mind.
Scheduling suffering. That's an interesting phrase. And the cookie jar comes in here too, right?
Exactly. That first mile, that became a cookie in his mental cookie jar. This powerful collection of past achievements, big or small, that he could consciously draw upon later when things got really tough.
So remembering past successes, no matter how small, fuels future resilience.
That's the idea. It's a vivid illustration of that principle.
Okay, so this new discipline, this calloused mind, where did it lead him next?
It led him towards Navy SEAL training. BASIS. Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL Training. The Crucible.
Right, but wasn't he still overweight?
Yeah, initially recruiters just laughed at him, but one recruiter, Stephen Shaljo, saw something in him, saw that drive.
So he gets his shot. What was BDS like, according to him?
Brutal. He talks about Hell Week, especially. It's in the third week of training, 130 hours straight.
130 hours?
Yeah. He calls it medieval, says it goes way beyond the physical and really reveals your heart and character.
Wow.
He describes being hosed down with freezing water, endless push-ups, sit-ups, runs in the sand, carrying heavy boats. And instructors like someone they called Psycho Pete, who seemed to relish their suffering.
Psycho Pete.
Yeah, apparently Pete would say things like, "Oh, and you will quit. I'll make sure of that." Just constant psychological pressure on top of the physical exhaustion.
But he didn't quit this time.
No way! He refused. He actually led his boat crew 2, and they were the only crew to lose no men and won every single race.
That's incredible. And this is where taking souls comes in.
Exactly. It's this mind game he developed. Primarily against himself, but also against anyone trying to break his will, instructors, other trainees.
How does it work?
He'd use an opponent's energy or the energy of the challenge itself, their attempts to break him, to find a second wind, basically flipping the script on their psychological tactics, turning their negativity into his fuel.
So taking souls isn't just about winning races.
No, it's deeper. It's about disrupting the opponent's psychological game. Whether that opponent is another person or your own self-limiting thoughts. You use their doubt or the sheer difficulty to find this deeper reservoir of internal drive.
Turning external pressure into internal fuel.
Precisely. And the physical toll during BUDS was just immense. He talks about running on essentially broken legs.
Broken legs, seriously.
His shins were slivered with small fractures, is how he puts it. Stress fractures.
Oh.
He would duct tape his feet and shins every single morning, enduring 30 minutes of just extreme pain simply to start the day's training.
Duct taping broken shins. That's
He said that daily ritual, that embrace of suffering, was truly amazing in a way. It helped him survive things like drown-proofing evolutions, where they tie your hands and feet and make you stay afloat.
Unbelievable.
And he emphasizes that these physical challenges, they strengthen my mind so I'm ready for whatever life throws at me. It's all connected for him.
So this calloused mind is fully forged by BUDS. What did he do with it?
Well, almost immediately after BDS, he jumped into his first ultramarathon, the San Diego one day.
Okay, an ultramarathon. How much did he train for it?
That's the crazy part. Zero training.
Zero. After BUDS. How is that even possible?
Right. He ran 101 miles.
101 miles with no specific run training.
None. He dedicated the run to the fallen Special Operations warriors from Operation Red Wings.
Ah, yes. The mission in Afghanistan. Marcus Luttrell's team.
Exactly. He pushed himself so hard he reached kidney failure during the race.
Kidney failure.
Yeah. But he saw that extreme pain, that breakdown, as his trophy ceremony, confirmation that he had finally mastered my own mind.
That's an intense way to view kidney failure.
It is. But even then, the race director, a guy named Chris Kosman, was apparently unimpressed.
Unimpressed after 101 miles with no training.
Yeah, Kosman basically said the point of the race was to run for the full 24 hours, not just hit 100 miles and stop.
Ouch. Talk about tough love.
Right. But even that seemingly negative feedback, it just became more fuel for him.
Of course it did.
And this is where he really started thinking about the governor in the mind.
The governor. What's that?
It's like the self-limiting software we all have. It tries to stop you when you reach about 40% of your true capabilities.
40%? Why so low?
It's driven by a desire for comfort. Your brain trying to protect you, keep you safe, stop you from hurting yourself.
Okay, that makes sense from an evolutionary perspective, maybe.
Yeah, it's a protective mechanism. But his point is that 40% isn't your actual limit. Not even close for most people.
So how do you push past it?
To move beyond that 40%, he concluded, you have to chase pain like it's your damn job. Embrace the discomfort. Tell the governor to shut up, basically.
Chase pain like it's your job. That's certainly a demanding philosophy. What does the source suggest about, the psychological toll of that? Does it risk becoming self-destructive?
That's a really good question. And the line is incredibly fine, no doubt. But the way he frames it, the source implies the pain is the point, in a way.
How so?
For him, the suffering becomes this pathway to self-mastery. It's how he proves to himself again and again that his mind, not his body, is in control.
So it's a conscious choice.
Right. A conscious choice to override the brain's comfort-seeking mechanisms. What might look like self-destruction from the outside, he sees as intense self-development. He doesn't shy away from the intensity. He sees it as necessary for growth.
Okay. So even after these incredible physical feats, BUDS, the ultra, threw him another curveball.
A massive one. 2 heart surgeries.
Heart surgeries. What for?
An atrial septal defect, or ASD. It's a congenital hole in the heart. Something he was born with, but probably didn't know about or wasn't significantly affecting him until the extreme stress he put his body under.
Wow. So the Navy must have told him to slow down.
Oh, yeah. They suggested he scale back, accept a new normal.
And let me guess, he refused.
He absolutely refused. He wouldn't hang my head, as he put it. He became patient with my recovery, which is interesting, showing a different kind of discipline.
Patience, yeah.
But he continued his drive, even while he was put on recruiting duty for a while.
And this journey wasn't just physical, was it? There was mental work still happening.
Definitely. He talks about really facing his past, specifically his father's influence, accepting that it's part of him, part of his story.
That's huge.
Yeah. He realized that his challenging start, what he called his fucked up hand in life, it was like running a 100-mile race with a 50-pound ruck on my back. Meaning it was harder, yes, but it also uniquely prepared him. It built a different kind of strength for everything that came later.
That makes sense. What else? Did he stay with the SEALs?
He actually also served in Army Ranger School later on, became first sergeant, leading 100 men through that intense training.
Wow. Crossing services like that is rare.
Very. And during that time, he really adopted this mindset of starting at zero.
Starting at zero. What does that mean?
It means no matter what you achieve or what anyone achieves, you can't be satisfied. You always go back to the beginning mentally.
Why?
Because, as he puts it, life is too dynamic a game. We're either getting better or we're getting worse.
Yeah.
There's no standing still. It's an incredibly proactive view of continuous improvement.
So always hungry, always learning.
Exactly. Embracing ignorance, in a sense.
Yeah.
Always seeking to learn new skills. Compartmentalizing your day to maximize productivity.
Even scheduling rest, right?
Yes. crucially, scheduling real rest time, emphasizing that it should be true rest, not just, losing yourself scrolling on your phone or zoning out with tech.
That's a discipline in itself.
It really is. And he concludes that by applying these principles, the accountability mirror, the cookie jar, taking souls, callous mind, pushing past the governor, starting at 0, you can transform perceived weakness into incredible strength.
And he's still pushing his limits.
Absolutely. Even at 43, when the book was written, working as a wildland firefighter, he was apparently running faster than ever. And he notes his rage.
The rage from his childhood.
Yeah. It's no longer this unconscious twitch, this reaction. It's something he accesses consciously as fuel, which is just a remarkable transformation of such a powerful negative emotion.
What an incredible deep dive. I mean, into a life defined by this almost terrifying commitment to self-overcoming.
Terrifying yet inspiring in a way.
Yeah. We've seen how this history of profound abuse and adversity, it didn't break him. Instead, it somehow forged this armored mind.
Capable of pushing far beyond what most of us would even consider humanly possible.
This story really reminds us that true strength, maybe it comes from confronting our weaknesses head on.
Yeah, and consciously scheduling that discomfort, that growth into our lives, relentlessly pursuing self-mastery.
It's about recognizing that your mind's governor, that little voice telling you to stop.
Yeah.
It isn't telling you the whole truth about what you can do.
Not even close. You are capable of far more than you probably think.
And that leaves us with a pretty provocative thought, doesn't it? If he could run 101 miles with 0 preparation, or duct tape his broken shins day after day to complete BUDS, what hidden reserves of strength are you holding back from? Simply because you haven't asked yourself the most powerful question of all.
Which is,
what if?
What if? Simple but profound.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking what if. You might just surprise yourself with what you can accomplish.